Okay, thanks gents. We're going through all of the defensive movements today and I'll show you the whiteboard in a little while, but you'll see if you zoom in on the left side of the whiteboard, we've got DECA, and our process is to go from a position where we defend against an attack, we escape that position, then we get into our own position of control, that's the C, and then we can attack from there. And just a quick thing before I go through the actual defences, when you are defending yourself and you move to an escape, don't stop defending yourself. Quite often people will try to escape something and they'll open themselves up to an attack. So you have to defend and escape simultaneously. So mount, arms up. I do this and he puts the hands forward. By the way, if he leans back, then I just umpire with that knee. 2 hands on one I teach. Pull it in, bridge over the top, and then I'm at least in a better position. If, part 2, if I just can't get him to come forward, I still lift my hips up, but then I turn and I put all my attention against that leg, and then I get to a half guard position. Watch this trick. If I find problems, go back to mount, Brad. Watch this trick. If I turn, top leg scoops bottom leg. Then I go like that, and then because he's a cylinder, I can just quite easily roll him out. So that's mount. We've got bump and roll, and then a hip escape out of mount. So next one, Kesa Gatame. So he's got me in a headlock position. We're going to do bump and roll again. Grab low, not high, so, although that's a possibility, low, put my feet next to his bum, him up, roll over, and then I go into my own position of Kesa Gatame. So watch again, sort of change the angle a tiny bit. So I'm there, 1, close to him, umpire up, rotate, and then I'm into my own position of Kesa Gatame. I'm going to switch it now so Brad's facing away from the camera so you can see my legs. This one I'm going to push his chin back with my hands first to preempt this. The idea is I put it under his chin, push it back, triangle, or at least get up to a better position. So from Kesa Gatame, I've got bump and roll, and I've got the leg over. Side control escape without Brad doing anything. All I'm doing is I'm protecting myself here. I turn and push my hips away. So I'm doing a hip escape. So I lift, turn, push, and they call this shrimping in America because we're the same shape as a shrimp or one of our prawns. So it's a hip escape or a shimmy out to the side. So he's here in side control. I can't turn, so I go lift first, then push out. So hands on his hips, then I want to get through to there. So do it again, Brad. So hip escape out from side control, hands up like that, turn and get one knee in that way. Part 2 of side control is the ghost escape. So as the person passes into side control, you might find that your hands are not up. So we're going to do a ghost escape. It's called a ghost escape because my head disappears like a ghost, obviously. So as Brad is closing in the distance for that, I might find that my hands are down. So my hands are down, you can see in the camera here. I'm going to move into a north-south position. This hand traps his hips. This hand lightly grabs the tricep. I turn my head, you can just see my eyes past Brad's shoulder in case he leans on my head. So I just go out like that. Then as I get clearance, then I'm into my head-arm choke, and this is called a DAS choke. But it's a head-arm choke. So as you can see, head and arm, and I go 1, 2. So my hand transfers from his tricep to his head at the last minute. So I'll rewind and go back in there. So both hands are down, that's light, so he doesn't know what's going on. turn my head, walk my feet around. Last minute, that goes there, grab there, and then I've got the das, and I can roll over on top of him if I wish. Last escapes that we've done, again we're doing two, but we're sort of going to do two choices from the same defence. This is going to be high-low. I want to control his upper body with my top hand, lower body with my other hand. Fingers facing out. If I'm like this, he can pull my elbows forward. So I want elbows in, and I want skeletal strength to stop him from sitting up. So Brad, you try to sit up. So then, yeah, he can't get to my neck as easily. So then, with whichever hand is long, I get that leg and I boot him in the coccyx. Other knee comes out to the side. You can see it disappear because I want to be able to push this leg down to the floor. If that leg is here, I push that leg down and my leg is blocking it. So I want to push that down to the floor. Then I crawl over that to get to side control. Or once I get to here, I can crawl over this leg, or I can circle under that leg. I put the forearm on his neck and I drive forward like in a rugby scrum and put his knee to his nose and then turn out, and I'm easily in side control. So that's a pressure pass. High-low posture. Hand that's long, knee is in the backside. Pretty quickly you turn your body to the side. Hold on with your legs. So if I try to push back, my body is wider than it is, it's wider than it is narrow. So if I turn this way, it's harder for him to keep his legs together. Worry about a triangle if I'm there and he pulls the arm forward. But just generally from here, I can go cross knee pass and then slide through into side control, or I can do same knee pass into side control. If I'm here and I've got the legs open, the other one was circle under, hand on across his throat, push his knee to his nose, pressure pass, he'll let me pass into side control. So that was two choices from the same high-low defence of keeping his legs crossed. So that was side control, so guard, high-low. We either go, once we break it open, we've either got over the leg or under the leg. Now in the next video, we're going to join them all together, or most of them together, in a little bit of a routine.